Hello, welcome back to Marvel Puzzle Quest with me, PiMacleod. We're at day 4248. It's a desolate wasteland on the shield resupply screen. Kind of crazy with this many days in, but what do we care about that for, right? We're here for characters and matches and strategies. Who cares about resupplies? Let's go on to, well, let's talk about the new character first. Have you guys seen this talk about the new character? Have you not? I mean, it kind of just got announced like super recently. There's a new 4-star coming down the feed. We'll receive them pretty darn soon, and it kind of goes in line with our new character, Tony Ho. It's someone related to her. Here, I'll bring it up. Let's see. I already was just looking at her just a moment ago. We go over here. Here we are. Aiku Yokanin. I had to look this up because I want to make sure I pronounced it right, and had to look up a little bit of history. I'm not exactly familiar with this character, and so just a little bit of research. Aiku Yokanin has been around since 2013 in comics, at least from the little bit of digging I did, and is related in some respects comic book wise to Tony Ho. So they're probably pushing some sort of, I don't know, new comic book agenda, something coming down the pike in the MCU or something. I don't know, but it's there. They're connected somehow in the comics, and putting them back to back like that is kind of makes you wonder what else is going on in the comic books, TV shows, movies, whatever, because it's kind of weird to push two out back to back like that are connected, right? Anyways, Aiku Yokanin is our new 4-star character, and she supposedly doesn't have any superpowers of her own, according to the little bit of lore I read. Instead, she has a super suit of sort, you know, kind of like a Tony Stark sort of thing, right? But she didn't make it. She got like bonded to her first one, like in a freak accident. Like she got into one. It was an experiment, and got bonded to it, so she couldn't step out. It was just it was her. She was the suit. The suit was her. Period. And I guess at some point later in comic book history, she was able to break out of it. And Tony Ho said, "Hey, you're still cool with us. Let me make you one that's a little more versatile and won't trap you into it." And I guess they made a new one for her. I don't know all the ins and outs. That's just a brief little snippets I read on the wikis online. Let's get into what we really care about. The MPQ stats of this Aiku Yokanin. So if we look into it, obviously we don't know the feeder flow yet because new character. Starting off, has a purple ability for 5 AP, nice and cheap, which is what we want to see nowadays. The ability called I See You. So she identifies her foe, readies herself, whatever that means. Creates a fortified 3-turn yellow density repeater. You might recognize the word density because we had that on Vision. Vision is the only character in the game that had that really mentioned on anyone so far, and rightfully so. And this yellow repeater does 204 damage. Well, we should really stay away from the numbers for now, right? This is low, like just basic level stuff, right? So, anyways, and then it fortifies up to 1 friendly special tile. Okay, then she becomes light. Seems very visiony so far, just the whole density and light thing, right? The passive though on this states at the start of the battle, Aiku becomes heavy. So at the start of the battle, she's heavy. That's what I'm gathering here. Whenever Aiku makes a match 4 or greater, she deals some damage, which it's kind of cool. So someone who just kind of passively does something extra on match 4s. We have a few characters in the game like that already, like America Chavez, or on the flip side, Loki likes to play against that. Hey, Mark, good to see you over there on Twitch. Thanks for joining. And if she becomes light, it just turns into change of phase. At 270, of course, the damage is up there. 370 damage is up there. I mean, of course, the levels are going to increase the damage. Let's see, level 2 fortifies up to 2 tiles. Try to look for something different here. Level 4 brings it down to a 2-turn repeater tile. I assume that's what that means. It says 2 tile. And then level 5 is when it starts to fortify 3 tiles. So at the best, it's for 5 purple, you get to make a repeater that fortifies up to 3 tiles. It looks like it's a 2-turn tile at that point, and it does some damage every tick down, and of course does some extra damage on match 4s. Okay. Doesn't seem like it's anything worth writing home about. But I guess if you have a nice team that's built around cascading match 4s and whatnot, something that Onslaught would like, you get the idea. Perhaps that could kind of gel with them. Now, there's another purple thing here, because of course we saw earlier that the ability could turn in from I See You into Change of Phase if she becomes light, right? Creates a 3-turn red density repeater tile that deals damage. Then all airborne enemies take damage for each friendly density tile on the board. So she could have multiple, it sounds like. And then of course land. Then Aiku becomes heavy. So this seems to be the mechanic on how she switches back and forth. Kind of like Cloak and Dagger, how they use their pocket dimension, that purple power for 3, to switch back from light to dark, back and forth. Seems like she changes her phase with purple for 5, and it switches between light density and heavy density in this case. As a passive, that's interesting. This must be a little bit of copy-paste, problem, copy-pasta, as some would say, at the developer point. It says at the start of the battle, IQ becomes light, but we read up here that at the start of the battle, IQ becomes heavy. So we'll have to, stay tuned and see what that really means later on as time goes on. So let's see. Whenever IQ makes a match 4 or greater, send the target airborne for 2 turns. If IQ becomes heavy, this becomes I See You. I mean, unless this is one of those abilities like Echo or Taskmaster where you can set the ability on which way you want it to start. Maybe you could say, hey, I just want her to start heavy, and so it starts at change of phase, or vice versa. That would be kind of neat, but I mean, we don't know yet. This is just theory. Let's see. Moving on. If IQ becomes heavy, this becomes I See You. Of course, extra levels bring on more damage. Airborne enemies seem to be taking a lot more damage with this as it goes on. At level 4, it becomes a 2-turn repeater. Kind of what we mentioned earlier with the light version, right? And level 5 just tacks on some more damage. Okay, so cheap ability, but seems to flip-flop back and forth between these 2 phases. I'm assuming that once you get what you want for your team composition, whether you're dealing with airborne enemies or match 4 cascade making, you'll probably pick your phase and stay with it, I assume. Her red ability is Hard as Diamond. Sounds very Emma Frost-like, right? For 6 red, she, let's see, it says she increases her density, can shrug off damage, deliver mighty blows, and use the weight of her opponent's devices against them. Sounds very much like Vision, like they made a super suit Tony Stark-esque version of Vision, right? Creates a red density repeater tile. So, again, this is another repeater. You can see how they're friends with Tony Ho, just in the repeaters alone. Deals damage plus 9, plus a little bit more for each friendly density tile on the board, and she becomes heavy. While she's heavy, she takes less damage for each friendly density tile on the board, up to this amount. And then friendly density tiles also deal extra damage for each enemy special tile when they activate. For each enemy special tile. That's kind of interesting. So if you know the enemy is going to run a lot of special tiles, a couple of these density versions, these red ones, would definitely bulk up your counter, so to speak. Extra levels bring the damage up, and it's kind of obvious there. Just seeing if there's anything else notable. It's just all damage ups as the level goes up. Yeah, nothing else changes on that one. Just damage up across all levels. And then finally her yellow one become as smoke. So yellow, this must be her light version, right? For 8 yellow. Obviously her most expensive one, unfortunately. But yellow AP is probably the easiest one to come by with supports. So take that for what you want. You can see it creates a yellow density repeater tile, sends the target airborne for 1 turn. Okay, so there you go. You can help yourself to more airborne shenanigans if you'd like. Plus 1 turn for each friendly density tile on the board. Again, it doesn't state light or heavy, so different density tiles could play here. Up to 4 turns. Then she becomes light. While light, IQ's damage ignores protect tiles. Well, that could be decent, depending on who you're going against. Depending. And then density tiles also deal damage to all airborne enemies. Okay, so the previous one, the red one, did damage based on enemy special tiles out there. This one does makes your density tiles do more damage based on who's airborne. You know, so just extra damage for them. Extra levels bring up the damage. Oh, and level 2 makes it cost an AP less. Level 3 makes it cost an AP less. Level 4 makes it cost an AP less. That could be pretty neat. Send airborne for 2 turns, so more airborne turns out of it. Send airborne for 3 turns, up to 5 turns tops. Cost 1 AP less. I guess if you make an airborne based assault team, someone who, if you have a team of people that are just popping the enemy up in the air, so you kind of use a stall tactic to make sure they can't do much to you, this could be interesting to some extent. She doesn't seem like a quick character. This seems like a sort of character that you need either a bunch of enemy tiles to maximize things, you need the right density out, so the right plan that you're going to go into the fight with, or you need to rely on an airborne based team, someone like you pull out Nova or 5-star She-Hulk, people that revolve around putting the enemies airborne, or even capitalize on if they're already airborne, like Archangel, who will do damage and stun people that are in the air, stuff like that, which seems very niche. I don't think she has a ton of teams ready to go based on that, but at the same time, maybe there's some shocker builds that we haven't seen yet in the game, and this will help enable them. I'm not thoroughly impressed yet, but of course it's early, right? Anyways, that's our new character that's coming in, it looks like this week, I guess. Aiku Yokonin. It says 5-star but I think that's copy paste as well. I think it's a 4-star character. It shows in the picture, you can see right there next to her, 4-star Aiku Yokonin. So, okay. Anyways, let's get on to the Crash the Titans, right? I'm sorry, what's that, Efu? I don't see a post on forum. Can you give a link? Let's see. Where did I pull that from? I pulled it from Reddit, my friend. Let me see. Can I put this in our chat? I don't think I've ever done this in our chat before. Share? No? Can I copy it? I'm going to copy it. And then go to our Twitch. Can we do that? Oh, I don't have it on here. I'm doing this from Streamlabs. Give me a second here. I wonder if I could do it from... I have a phone linked to Twitch. Well, not to Twitch, to my computer right now. I wonder if I could grab it from here. Give me a sec. That's a very solid question. I don't mind trying to help with that. Is it this one? Oh, it is this one. Right here. Oh, you found it before I got there. Never mind. Hey, I see you in there, Durs. I just call you Durs for short. Nice. Welcome to the chat. And yes, I did drop the link in there, Ifusan, but or Mr. F if I remember correctly. So moving on, let's get onto the Crash, right? We've spent enough time on Aiku Yokonin. Let's go back into here. Okay, gotta load the screen, right? Let's go. Deadpool Daily. Today's Crash, or this week's Crash of the Titans, is with everybody's favorite crazy, fun-loving, at least if the MCU would have you believe it, character Drax. Drax is one of the first characters that had fun little add-on ability. When countdowns expired, he got a little extra bonus something. Nowadays we have a bunch of characters that do that, so he's kind of heavily overlooked. But let's see who gets to go against this time. His first Crash the Titans today will be against Thanos, who is cheating. I mean, that would fit Thanos, right? With this 5/5/5. 3-star Thanos came into the game long ago, like pre-Avengers Endgame stuff. Like, I want to say it was, you know, not alongside the movie, but just before it. There was a 5-star and 3-star came at the same time. They have almost the same exact build and abilities. This 3-star one, the Court Death, does not have the stun capabilities that the 5-star has. The purple Infinite Power makes a countdown that makes his match damage greater, but it does not include the ability that 5-star has, which makes it so you can't add, that nobody can add tiles to the board. You can't manipulate tiles on the board as it is. Everything has to be static, and you can only move them. You can't swap them, make new ones, destroy them, whatever. So 3-star Thanos is a little limited in ability compared to 5-star, but with Ascension, 3-star Thanos actually gets a much stronger Court Death at the 5-star level than the 5-star one does himself. So depends on what you want. Do you want the stuns upon killing? Do you want that infinite power ability where the enemy and your own teammates can't manipulate the board? Or do you just want the pure damage output of this 3-star when you ascend them to 5-star level? Shouldn't be a problem to kill. Let's face it. Part of the problem with Thanos is usually the fact he's with the team. And the whole point of putting Thanos on your team is relying on the passive of killing someone, and then Thanos fires off Court Death, which is a nice healthy chunk of team damage to everybody, including a little bit to your teammates as well. This is a one-on-one fight. There's not going to be any problem like that. Same thing with his green, Come and Get Me. It's a countdown that when it goes off, it does some team damage. Well, the countdown also states that he is front and center. He's going to tank all the hits coming in. Well, it's a one-on-one fight. He's going to tank all the hits anyways. This is pretty much neutering the entire point of the character in MPQ. If he puts out his purple, he's going to do increased match damage, and that'll suck. But other than that, it's going to be pretty easy peasy, I believe. We'd have to have a really bad board luck in order for him to get the best of us with Drax. So let's get into it. Drax came into MPQ a little later, if I remember correctly, than Thanos did. He was one of the later Guardians to come into the game. The later ones of, like, you know, the basic 5 of them, if you want to call it that. Anyways, Drax comes in with 3 abilities, and one that is, I think it's overlooked a little much, just a little much. And I think it's because it's pricey for what it does nowadays. But when he was newer, it was a pretty unique ability, all things considered. The Destroyer. It's 10 black, and that's pricey, and I can't blame anyone for looking over that. But it destroys up to 3 enemy special tiles, and that means anything. Countdown, repeater, strike, attack, protect, or anything else that comes to mind. Invisibility tiles. It just picks them, destroys them, and then destroys random tiles surrounding them, dealing damage with them. And of course, there's the initial nuke of damage it does as well. It's actually pretty beefy, all things considered. If you're going against teams that like their special tiles, he's really good at getting rid of a lot of them, as long as you have a good way of getting black AP. He can destroy a bunch of stuff and do a lot of damage all at the same time with this one ability. Would I assume that you should build around it? No. I mean, if you have a better way of doing damage, do it, right? And that's why I present to you the secret weapon. For most cases, you're playing with a team of 3, right? So secret weapon is assuming that you have some friends out there to help him do this. By himself, it's a little more lackluster, but I digress. Secret weapon is for 9. It creates a purple strike tile with a decent base strength, but it adds more strength for each friendly countdown tile on the board. Works really good with his buddy Star-Lord at the 4-star level. Anyways, up to 5 countdown tiles will max with it, but that 1 strike tile could get really strong for being a 4-star character. The fun part about this is his passive that states whenever a friendly countdown tile expires, you deal a bit of damage. And that was not common at first. Nowadays, Tony Ho and Hobgoblin and other characters have come in and started giving us these abilities to do damage when friendly countdowns or repeaters expire. It took a long time for us to come back around to making more abilities like that, but Drax was the only one that had this for a long time. He was good friends with Coulson for that purpose, or Mantis, or the Blob. He could really get down with some of those characters that make 1-turn countdowns. Problem here is this is a one-on-one fight. We don't have many ways of making countdowns, or any countdowns really. Did you see any in his Black Destroyer ability? Nope, he just destroys stuff. I mean, that's the ability, right? Secret weapon, he makes a strike tile. There's no countdowns made in there. And then there's his red, which is the most lackluster ability of them all. I'll even put up to 5 so you can see what it does. For 8 red, he deals a red nuke. It's just a decently powered nuke. But what it really does is a lot of damage if the target has more than 90% of their total health. In other words, the target has to be like fresh as a baby, like really new, untouched, untarnished if you're playing Elden Ring. You have to basically have a fresh target for this to do that. And so in this one-on-one fight, I can't in good conscience advise for you to put this at 5 because you're never going to get that big chunk of damage. You're always going to get the lower amount of damage because you to get 8 red AP, you're going to have to make a few matches to get the red AP. They're going to be below 90% by the time you get there. I'd rather you focus on getting a good size strike tile out there and then making every match you do more damage, not just, you know, hoping for a good red cascade and trying to fire that off before you tap Thanos too hard. That's just my suggestion. Your results may vary. I'm sorry, I missed a couple things over on the side over there. Hey, Durs, I'm happy to provide. I really am. What's up, John? Good to see you, dude. Cheater Thanos with 555. Yes, he is. I'm tired of these cheaters in this game. What's up, Seth, over there on YouTube? Thanks for joining. Beat this with 1 cover. Party starter supporter. Okay. Red, yellow, green, black, blues, all color blues. Okay. Good to hear that, Seth. I could see beating Thanos with very little because honestly, Thanos isn't much of an issue on this. He doesn't bring a lot to the table by himself. Both of these characters, Thanos and Drax, revolve around having party mechanics around you to make them thrive. So this is basically a slap fest between these two. So let's get into it, though. I got to go back and turn on the animations because it wouldn't be me if I didn't do this. Character effects on. And let's get into it. Thanos, Drax, go! Okay. Well, we got a match 5 right off the bat, so we got to get that right. And then another match 5, even though it's yellow, got to take it. I don't think I need that blue, even though there's a crit affiliated with it. Like, that blue would just give me 1 purple AP. That's not really worth it. I think I'd rather take the red that's over there on the right, at least set myself up for something, right? So, go ahead, Thanos. You could take that. I mean, Thanos ain't using blue or yellow AP. He can have that. Let's go with, I don't know, this green over here. We want to set up our black if we can. He's definitely taking the black as well, but he ain't going to do anything with it. Court Death is entirely a passive. I'll take this red. I guess I'll take the crit purple into a cascade. I'll take that match 4. Gets me another purple AP. Just need one more red or one more purple or a couple more black. Come on. I'm kind of lucky with the AP right now because honestly, he needs a good amount of AP to get anything rolling. Okay, here we go. Might as well get this out there now, right? Creates a purple strike tile plus extra strings for each friendly countdown. Let me count them out there. 0. Got it. Okay. I want some red, but I'm not seeing any place to grab it. I guess I'll make this blue. There's some red. There we go. And might as well fire this off now, just for the animation's sake. Obviously, it's doing a lot less damage because we put it down to level 3. We'll put it to level 5 for the next fight, just for fun, right? Now, if you're having trouble with this fight because Drax is kind of... I hate when they get rid of my one and only strike tile. He is a little underpowered by himself, and you're having problems with it. I do suggest a few different supports to get through. Obviously, some very defensive ones like Arrows Arrow or Leapfrog are really good at just stalling the game out. Or if you want to play with his purple secret weapons some more, you could put on ones that make countdown tiles. Like, for instance, the Helicarrier starts you out with a countdown tile, for example. Or you could put on Black Widow batons, which has a chance of making a countdown tile at the start to stun the opponent, and that would be another countdown for you to use with your secret weapon. There's a couple different ways to go about this, of course, but these are just options that come off the top of my head. I guess I'll take that red over there, right? They really want me to have all the red. Just noticed like been a lot of red this match. I've never used Slice and Dice this many times in my life. Like in one fight. There we go. Well, that was easy peasy because Thanos isn't really a threat, unfortunately. He's good for clearing out easy nodes in all of our PvEs, though. Gotta use that for what we can. Alright, let's get into the other one. This one might be a little more fun. We're going against 5-star Iron Man. Just a little beefier than 3-star Thanos. Just a bit. He's cheating as well, though. You know, I could believe that, actually. I could see Tony Stark cheating to win a fight as well. 5 red, 5 blue, 5 yellow. Not cool. He's going to have 5-star match damage. It is only level 270, but still, 5-star match damage is a thing. It's going to hurt. He isn't going to hurt as hard as he could with his red. His red is a nuke. It does more damage if there's more Team Iron Man teammates at his side, but obviously he's by himself, so we don't have to worry about that hurting as hard. His yellow is going to be a little annoying. It's the House Party Protocol. It makes these countdowns that basically intercept and will soak up damage for him if he's going to receive too much at certain points. If the countdowns hit 0, then they finish off or expire with a bit of damage output. It's not like you use them for offense, but the fact that he puts them out there and then doesn't have to worry about as much damage coming in is a kind of a big deal. But the most annoying thing about him, or the most damaging thing, is his blue, which is Girl Friday. That ability takes your strongest, the enemy's strongest color, turns them all to red, and then after the ensuing cascades finish from that, then it destroys all the red, doing damage per each tile. He doesn't get the AP from it, but that's a lot of destroyed tiles on the board, generally speaking, and hence a lot of damage output. Not to mention all the cascades that ensue. Girl Friday can be pretty devastating if the board luck is not in your favor, we'll say in this case. So hopefully he doesn't get enough blue to do that. But there's not much difference we could do with our Drax in this fight. It's still the same strategy as before. But this time I'm going to take his red and increase it. And we're going to bring the secret weapon down. Because we're going to try to get Destroyer fired off. And Slice and Dice, we're going to rely on that for heavier hits. Because why not, right? Let's give him back to full health. And here we go. Drax versus Iron Man. Let's go. Don't ask me why they would have this fight. I have no clue. I guess maybe at that one scene in the MCU when they're asking who is Gamora, why is Gamora? Maybe that's what this is about. I'll take that one. It had some red and black, purple in that match 4, so I'll take it. I guess I will take that purple right here. I want the black to fire off this time because we didn't get to see that one yet. That'd be nice to get another animation in the books, right? No, it's okay. You take that match 5. You need it more than I do, Iron Man. Well, thankfully Iron Man doesn't need black AP, so hopefully he won't go for this match right here. Oh, there's a match 4 of red. I think I'll take the match 4 of red right now, even though I want the black, because if I leave that alone, it still and I take the black, right? That leaves Iron Man a match 3 of red on the board, and I'd rather him just not have that. So I'll take this right now. And it's tempting to take that match 4 of yellow just to deny him that as well. That's a lot of AP. I don't want to give him abilities to fire off. Sometimes denial is more important than actually getting the AP you want. I think I'll do it this way. Give me that blue and yellow. So wow, okay, that was, and I got black out of that. Okay, that was very lucky. I could fire off the red right now, but that might actually do the full damage too. I want to get the black animation though. Let's call it what it is. Okay. Okay. Shot me in the face. That sucks. But now we could... Oh, shoot. We 1 short on black? We are. Okay. Let's do that and it'll line it up. He's going to take a different color. And here comes the Girl Friday. See, that can be a little damaging, and he's only level 270. That when he gets higher level, that's actually pretty devastating at times. But cool, we can fire off his black now. Let's go. Well, first, I would do the secret weapon, right? Might as well pump it up. There we go. Ah, boy. So it destroys up to 3 enemy special tiles and 4 random tiles, so we don't have any of those on the board, so it's going to be a little lackluster. But if he had his house party protocol out, this would totally just annihilate all that. It's the one good use of this right here. So we just got a nuke out of it. And then this one is going to finish him off. Not hard all in all, but then again, my Drax is kind of heavily leveled up. So again, if you need any extra assistance with it, I highly suggest going into your supports and throwing on stuff to boost maybe your defense value so you can last longer with it, like a Leapfrog or Arrow's Arrow. Those are just two really good ones for this fight. You could also, like stated, use something that produces countdown tiles, like the Black Widow batons, or the Helicarrier for the first 5 turns does stuff like that. There's other ones out there as well that could help you out, but that's just the ones that come to my mind. So, that's it. That's Drax's Crashes of the Titans. And earlier we introduced the new 4-star coming up, Aiku Yokanin. I'm gonna get that name straight eventually. Cool. Well, that's it for me for now. That's my extended lunch break. I'm gonna get on out of here. I will talk to you all later. Thank you for joining me, Seth, on YouTube, and over on the Twitch side, I got John, Durs, and Mr. F, and Mark. Thank you very much once again for all support, and I'll talk to you guys really, really soon. Later, everybody. Oh, and you too, Himbeer.